Hey everyone, so today is going to be a tutorial on this Princess Mononoke body paint, and this is also the first video in my series of the NYX Face Awards follow along, where essentially I just follow along with the challenges of the NYX Face Awards even though I'm not in it, because I thought that would be a lot of fun and just a way to be involved anyway. So I channeled my obsession with the Studio Ghibli movies and wanted to do this Princess Mononoke makeup for the Royalty Challenge, and without any further ado, let's get into the tutorial. So I first start by sketching out what I'm going to be painting with a lip pencil, and I'm roughly going off of this tattoo that I found online. I'm not sure who the artist is, but this is what I was going off of. Then I start to paint the rest of my body green, which is going to be the background color. So I start off with my shoulders being very dark, and then I slowly make a gradient into a lighter green. Then I'm starting on painting the mask in the middle, and most of this is pretty self-explanatory, and I'll mainly just let you watch it, and I'll try to explain it as best as I can. So I left 3 circles in the, the middle of the circle, and I'm going around these black dots with a yellow color, which basically just look up a reference of the Mononoke mask from the movie, and I'm basically just recreating that. So Mononoke in Japanese means spirit or monster, so Princess Mononoke sort of stands for the spirit and monster princess, so I thought that this would be perfect for the Royalty Challenge, which is the first challenge of the NYX Face Awards. Then I'm going in with these white lines and just recreating the mask essentially. Then I'm going in with a little bit of black body paint around it just to kind of remind myself that I need to have some shading there later. But in this video I try to do most of my shading with the body paints because I don't want to have to go back and shade everything. Then I'm going in with some black and white body paint to sort of create this necklace thing that Princess Mononoke has, where it connects the cape to her, and it's just this little black necklace with some teeth dangling down from it. Then I start to paint these little white spirit guys, which are called kodamas. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. And they are spirits in Japanese folklore that inhabit trees. And they're just like these really cute guys from the movies, and they're white, and they're like little bobbleheads, and they shake, and I love them so much. So then I'm going in by painting some leaves and then highlighting them with a lighter green because I don't want to have to go back and shade later. Then I'm going in with a red body paint, and I'm starting to fill in the forest spirit's face. Then I'm going in with a lighter brown color on the top half of his head just to try and make it as close to the reference picture as I can, and I just really took my time on this to try and get it as exact as I could, and I'm continuing the light brown over to the ears. So essentially, when you see me highlighting something, I'm going in with the same color but in a lighter version of that color to create some shadows and some highlights, and I do that throughout this entire video, so I'm just gonna say that now so I don't have to say it every time I do it because I do it for everything. But here I'm going in with a darker brown and kind of creating these hairy ears that the forest spirit has, and then creating the eyebrows, I guess if that's what you want to call them, with some white body paint, and I'm using a dotting pattern first just to make sure I have the correct shape, and then I start to feather it out since he's very fuzzy and furry. Then I start to fill in the eyes, and I do this very slowly because I want to get the shape as exact as I can, because usually when you're doing cartoons, a lot of the precision can be in the eyes, and if the eyes aren't right, then it just throws the whole thing off, at least in my opinion. So I took a lot of time on the eyes, and then I would go down the center of the face with some white body paint to create the little nose. And then very carefully I was dotting the red of the forest spirit's eyes, and just going in with red, white, and black body paint to highlight, create the pupils and the iris. And then just going in with a little bit of a darker shade to shadow above the eyes, since there is darkness and depth. Then a little bit of black to create the nose, mouth, and the little eye bag things he's got going on. And then I'm taking a light brown body paint and outlining his body and filling it in, and then I go back in with a yellowy brown sort of color to create the fuzzies and the hair that he has. Then I go in with a yellow body paint and a very small detailed brush to start creating the antlers that he's got going on. Then I start to create the eyes and mouth for the kodamas, and what's really nice about this is the dots do not have to be the same. So if you mess up, it's okay, because all 3 dots are all 3 different sizes. Then I'm just sort of outlining this. I didn't really like this very much, so I don't know if I would recommend doing it, but just letting you know that I did it. Then I'm going in with this flat brush. I start to paint on the trees, and so I'm going to go into detail with this one and fast forward through the other ones because I paint a lot of trees on myself. So I'm starting off with a light brown body paint to sort of sketch out the size of the tree, and then I go in with a mixture of the dark and light brown to sort of create the different colors and the texture that a lot of trees have. So you can see that I start to go in with a dark brown here on the left side of the tree to kind of create some depth. So I'm keeping the darker brown on one side and the lighter brown on the other to create depth and show that it's a rounded object. And they're not perfect by any stretch, but this is the first time I've ever done them, so I was happy with them. And so here I'm just starting to paint all the other trees, and you can sort of see the process basically. And you know, they don't have to blend perfectly, and actually the less blended the better, because trees have so much texture. And then I'm going in here with a light brown again just to make some rough little lines to create that sort of line texture I guess trees have. I wish I knew the correct terminology, but I don't. But essentially I'm just going in with those 2 colors, the light brown and the dark brown, and here I'm going in with a little bit of white and then going back over it with the brush just to really create the texture. And I tried to make them a little bit realistic, but didn't turn out perfectly, but it was good enough for what I'm going for because this is an animated movie. And then I'm just going in with a little bit of dots on the highlighted sides of the trees to kind of give it this enchanted forest sort of feel, because the forest in Princess Mononoke is enchanted. There is the forest spirit, and there's all these spirits everywhere, and it is sort of this magical thing, and I feel like adding those little white dotted highlights makes it sort of this magical thing. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just liked the way it looked, so I added a few little white dots everywhere. And sorry, there was a storm going on and it got really dark in my room, so I tried to turn the light on, and I know it's not the best, but I didn't know there was a storm coming and it got really dark. But so this is essentially what the body paint should start to look like. And it's not perfect by any stretch, but I was really happy with myself because this is the first time I've ever painted anything like this on my body. Then I'm going on to the face, and I'm starting by priming and then going in with a light foundation So Princess Mononoke doesn't really have makeup on because she has grown up in the forest, and you know, she doesn't wear makeup. But I wanted to even out my skin tone because she's a cartoon, so she has a perfect skin tone. So I just evened out my skin tone by using some concealer and some foundation. And I start to outline her little headband thing she's got with that same lip pencil that I did on my chest. And I start to color it all in with some black, white, and gray body paint. Then I go in with a shadow underneath the headband to sort of make it appear that it's on top of my skin and it'd be casting a shadow downward. And then I just start to outline and fill in the 3 triangles on my face with the red body paint. Then I start to line my eyes with some black eyeliner, and looking back on this, I definitely would have skipped this step. I don't think I liked how it ended up looking, and I definitely made it too thick as well, but I just didn't really like how it turned out, and I would have just stuck with mascara. Then I'm going in with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk. Everyone knows that that's just great, and I'm lining my eyes with it to just make them appear a lot bigger. And then I'm just teasing my hair up a little bit because she's been living in the forest her whole life, and I think she would be a little messy. And then I went in with some black body paint in my lips, but I would definitely skip that step. I hated how it looked, and I don't know why I kept it there, but... And then essentially that is the finished look. I hope you guys learned something, enjoyed to watch it. Leave me feedback if you liked it, what kind of videos you'd like to see next, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!